friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a review of some PR that I was sent from Alya Skin. They reached out to me back in March asking me if I wanted to try their supercharged skincare bundle. And upon looking into their site, I was really into the idea of it. They are based out of Australia, and a lot of the products that are in their lineup are products that I like to use in my skincare routine. So I was like, yeah, girl, go ahead and send me those. And over the last, I want to say 3 to 4 weeks, I have really focused on using them. I've made some really large dents in some of these products. And so I thought I would go ahead and do a roundup ranking of my favorite at the #1 spot all the way up to my least favorite. Before I talk about the roundup, I just want to talk about what the bundle is that you could potentially purchase. So on their website, they do have the products available for individual purchasing, which I'm really big into because as you will see, some of these products I am going through quicker than others. So I would not be able to only ever buy the bundle. I think I would definitely deplete certain items before others. So it is nice to see that I can get them individually. But in this particular bundle, they have their pomegranate exfoliating facial scrub. There's also the Australian native berries moisturizer. The cleanser that they have is the Foaming Micellar Cleanser. You also get a serum, which is called the Vitamin C Supercharged Serum. It also comes with a mask. It's the Australian Pink Clay Mask, Pink Perfect. And then they additionally throw in a face cloth. I don't have it handy. I actually need to go wash it, but they do have that in there as well. The bundle currently retails on their website for $111.95, but it does say in parentheses that it normally retails for, or I don't know if you're just saving it, but they also have in parentheses that it's normally $139.95. So you can see in this bundle that you basically have all of the main skincare components that is recommended for at least a lot of the content I've watched or read about with skincare. You know, you've got a exfoliator, you have a cleanser, you have a moisturizer, you have a serum, both of which say that you can use day and night. And you have a face wash. So you kind of hit all of the big steps. I also will say, I find their packaging really aesthetically pleasing. I do like the millennial pink shade. I like the font on there. That isn't really something that I care a ton about in skincare, but I just noticed that. It really caught my eye. And there is enough difference like between the moisturizer and the scrub. You have different symbols on there. So it's not that hard to distinguish the difference between the two of them. So I wouldn't really get them confused. Plus, I keep a scrub in my shower anyways, but I liked all of that. So without further ado, let's talk about my least favorite product. So based on what you probably saw for levels of usage, my least favorite product, the one that comes up in the 5th spot, is the Alya Skin Australia Native Berries Moisturizer. I don't know what was going on with this moisturizer, but I have deduced that it was actually causing me to break out. I was able to deduce that because when I first started using the skincare line, I was using all of it. I used all the steps right away. I just went for it. And I started to notice along the side of my face, I was getting these blemishes beneath the initial surface of my skin. It was almost like these red welts that hadn't yet come up to the surface, and they didn't seem like they were going to break the surface either. And I thought to myself all right, well, let me just go back to my normal routine and I will start to bring in the other items a little bit more slowly. And once I did that, the only thing that caused those types of welts to come back was this. So for me, it just didn't jive with my skin properties. They do recommend that you apply a complete layer on clean skin. It's recommended that you use this after their clay mask, and it's also recommended that you use every day for best results. Texturally, it's to me a relatively thin type of moisturizer. It's one of those ones that is thin but can be really moisturizing. It does have a fragrance to it. It's got a soapy type of fragrance to it. It doesn't bother me. Once it dries down, you don't smell it. But unfortunately, this just didn't work for me. I don't know if maybe it was the time of year because I was still in that drier wintry time that it wasn't working for me. I might try this again. If not, I might pass it off to Ben to use. And if neither one of us finds success, I'll declutter it then. But for that reason alone, this one sits in the #5 spot. In regards to #4, I am putting the Australian Pink Clay Mask, Pink perfect detoxify and brighten. I have really used this mask. I've also, to be transparent, allowed Ben to use it. Ben's been really struggling with a ton of different acne problems he hasn't had in a really long time. And so he's used it and I've used it, and we have really depleted this. So the way they recommend that you use it is it says, apply a thick, even layer to clean, dry skin. Avoid eye area, eyebrows, hairline, and lips. Leave on for 10 minutes or until completely dry. Gently wash off mask and any residue. For best results, use it with the entire skincare range. So here's what I'll say. I love a clay mask. I'm someone who feels like my skin responds positively to the use of clay. I definitely would wear this longer than 10 minutes. I would allow the whole mask to dry down, which I think would take longer to 20 minutes, especially if I was following the suggestion of doing more of a thicker layer. My one complaint with this, which is why it gets bumped into the number 4 spot, is that while I definitely felt the effects of it, like when I would wash my skin off, I could really see that my skin felt like it had been sucked out of a little bit of the gunk. The one area that I never felt like it really got after, which I think other clay masks that I've used have, is the blackheads on my nose. This tends to be the area where I get any type of blackhead, but unfortunately my blackheads don't seem to be able to be eradicated with like those pore strips. I've never seen benefits of those, but I have seen benefits from using clay masks on my nose in particular. And this, just for whatever reason, every time I would wash off my skin, I would feel the effects of it like on my cheek area. I could really feel it there, but my nose just never really had much of a difference. And so for that reason, I put it in the number 4 spot. Like, it works, but I don't necessarily think it works better than some of my other clay masks, and probably wouldn't be something that I would repurchase. Okay, so now we're getting into my top 3, and I really liked my top 3 products. The number 3 product that I have is the Pomegranate Exfoliator Facial Scrub. This scrub, I'm somebody who is not against using an external exfoliant, especially because I think that there are ones that exist that aren't like the walnut scrubs or the terrible components that you can find in some exfoliants. This one actually uses pomegranate seeds as an exfoliant, and what I like about this one is that you can feel it exfoliating your skin, but it is not overly harsh. I really appreciate that. It's basically like a cream-based exfoliating product, and I think texturally it really works. I definitely can feel like when I step out of the shower and put my serums and moisturizers on, I really can feel that it gets sucked in really fast after using this. I did use this basically 1 to 2 times a week. The instructions of it say, dampen skin, apply product to forehead, cheeks, nose, and chin, scrub gently in circular motions, wash away with warm water. Definitely think that that's how I would do it. The reason it goes in the number 3 spot is, as you can see, I have plowed through this. Granted, Ben and I were both using this, but even as 2 people who were talking like it maybe got used 3 or 4 times a week at the most, I definitely think that we wipe this out really fast. And so that's why I put it at the number 3 spot. I like the formula. I like the way it feels on my skin. I like the effects of it, but I just don't like how quickly we would go through this. And it's not the most like inexpensive product. So I know if that we adopted it into our skincare routine, I know Ben would blow through it really fast. I probably would go at a little bit of a slower speed, but still, that is why it gets put in the 3rd spot. Item number 2 that I'm putting in my ranking is the Foaming Micellar Cleanser. So I was a little weary of getting a foaming cleanser because the last one that I had was from the drugstore. I can't remember, I think it was Garnier, but I'm just not sure, and I hated it. I felt like it dried my skin out. It took me forever to use it, and I just didn't think it was a very good experience. So when I saw this one, only thing that kept me interested in it was that it was a micellar cleanser. I do like using micellar water. I was going through a micellar phase for a while before I came across cleansing balm, and that has just stolen my heart. And according to this, you could use this to remove your makeup. I have never used it that way because I like to take off my makeup in the shower, and I just prefer cleansing balm, but I actually have loved this as my morning cleanser. They say that this is infused with witch hazel and watermelon seed oil, and it's meant to rejuvenate and hydrate skin. It's also recommended that you use it daily. It says it thoroughly cleanses and leaves the skin feeling rejuvenated and hydrated every day. The directions are: wet your face, pump cleanser into hands, and massage face gently, rinse face, and wipe away cleanser. What I love about this as a morning cleanse is I feel like sometimes at night, because we have a down comforter, I do sometimes sweat. It's not great, but it's just the reality that I face. And what I love about this is it really just feels like it brings my skin back to ground zero after wearing a heavy moisturizer at night, maybe sweating a little bit. Like, I just really love this. It does not dry my skin out at all. It just leaves my skin feeling washed and cleaned, but not immensely dried out, which previous foaming cleansers that I have used have done that. And so I definitely think that this is something that I would purchase. And you can also see here that like, it's gonna last me a while. I've used this as a morning cleanser for at least 3 weeks. So we're talking like 21 uses, and I still have only really hit the first third of it, which is awesome to see. But it's also partly why with the bundle, I probably wouldn't be able to buy the bundle all the time because I don't go through the products equally. Like that mask, I basically have maybe 2 uses left. I maybe have a couple of weeks left with the scrub, and then I'm left with a bunch of this product. But this is definitely something that I think is a highlight of their collection, and it's actually the least expensive of everything from the line. And I just think it's lovely. Very, very happy to have discovered a positive, not drying your face out type of foaming cleanser. So now we come to my number 1 product, which is their Vitamin C Supercharged Serum. It says that it has kakadu, plum, desert lime, finger lime caviar, and lily pilly, plus hyaluronic acid. I don't know what a lot of that means, but they recommend that you apply this in both the morning and the evening. I have opted to only put this on at night. The reason for that is because my skin is very adaptable. So if I were using any of these things morning and night, my skin would adapt to it really fast and would then be less responsive to the effects of it. And so this has been my nighttime serum. I have to tell you guys, if I had been using this twice a day like they recommend, this would be gone. I'm about to this point on it, just using it at night, so just once a day. And I'm using about 2 pumps because I do feel like 2 pumps covers my whole face. So I definitely don't love that I go through this so quickly and how I've made a big dent on it because it is relatively pricey, but the benefits of this. The texture of this is beautiful. It is almost like a gel, but not quite as thick, but it has that gel-like cooling sensation. And as I apply it onto my face, it just feels so quenching. Like it feels like I'm giving my face a drink of like delicious vitamin water. And I really have noticed that my skin is a lot more radiant from using this. I am surprised by that. I didn't think that serums would do more than just help moisturize my face, but I wasn't seeing a ton of like direct benefits, but this has been lovely. And I'm just really happy to have made a discovery of this. It's definitely something that I could see myself adding into my serum rotation because again, my skin's so adaptable that I'm unlikely to go from serum to serum to serum for the same brand, same type. I have to rotate them in and out, but I could definitely see myself adding this to the rotation. So my overall thoughts on the brand is I feel like some items are just okay for what they actually are. I didn't personally experience the immense benefits of them, but then I also feel like there are some products that I really have enjoyed and I've made great discoveries for. So I'm really excited about making some new discoveries, especially from a brand that I don't think I would have come across on my own. And I'm curious if you have heard of them or if you have any interest in trying them. Like I said, I will leave all the information below for the bundle, but I'll also link to the individual products if one thing sounds more appealing to you. And I just want to say thank you to Alya for providing me this PR to try out your skincare. I so enjoyed trying everything out and sharing my thoughts. I'll talk to you guys in my next video real soon. Bye.